So for those of you who saw my last video, I'm learning Proven by Hatebreed. It'll be my first ever song I learned on guitar. And it's going pretty well. My goal was to have the whole song learned by the end of the week, and I should be there, but recording it is kind of an issue. I haven't quite figured out the interface stuff. I think I have all the proper gear, but I just need to kind of put it together. And today we're going to talk about our favorite metal memories. But first, I thought we would, on the topic of Hatebreed, which I've been talking about this week, I thought I'd do a little unboxing or unbagging, unpackaging. Don't really know the terminology. Check it out. Born to Bleed, Fight to Succeed, Hatebreed, Built to Endure. Pretty awesome, right? Now, I'm weird in that, like, I literally look for any opportunity to support the bands I love, to buy merch. And since, like, this is pretty much Hatebreed week in my life, I'm like, you know, learning on the song, doing all these videos, I thought, you know, why not get a Hatebreed shirt? And I don't have one. And and also, on a side note, any opportunity to get a non-black metal shirt when you have a white cat is very useful. I'll probably wear that when I do the cover, if I ever get that done. Now, as I mentioned, today we're doing a new series because apparently I like making new series more than I like continuing old ones, apparently. The new series is called Super Metal Memories. I have so many awesome metal memories, as I'm sure you do, and I thought I would create this as kind of a forum so we could kind of talk about it and share. Now let me take you back to the summer of 2001. I had just gotten my driver's license and I bought a ticket to Ozzfest, this legendary festival of metal in Dallas, Texas, which is about 5 hours from where I was living. And I borrowed my dad's beat up old Suburban he used to take fishing. So it didn't have any seat belts. Like, as you were driving down the road, literally paint would come flying off. It had no like radio or stereo, so I actually carried a boombox with me that played CDs, and I would like crank Fear Factory the whole way, even though Fear Factory wasn't playing. And the only money I had was money for gas. I didn't even have money for food, and I had some water bottles I had frozen in the freezer to take. But even though they were pretty much, even though I put them in a cooler, they were pretty much thawed by the time I got to Texas. So I had to wake up at 5 a.m. because the show started sometime between 10 and 12. I wasn't exactly sure because they had 3 stages, and I was a little confused at the time how it all worked out. By the time I arrived in Dallas, a few of the bands had already started playing. I think I missed 1 or 2 bands. Now, just in case you don't know, let me explain to you a little something about Texas heat, or as I like to call death heat, which is pretty much my definition of the South in the summertime as death heat. And this is like July, I think, and so it is like pure super death. And the place where Ozzfest, they had Ozzfest in Dallas for a few years, was they call it the Music Grounds or whatever, but really it was just like asphalt with like no trees, maybe 2 trees, maybe some shrubs, but it was super brutal. But you know, when you're like 16, 17, you just don't care. I mean, you're immortal until you turn about 20. Then you start having mental breakdowns. So anyway, so I show up. Like I said, I'd missed a couple of bands, and I get ready, and then this band called Hatebreed with the stage. Now, unless I'm completely wrong, Hatebreed hadn't even released Perseverance yet until like the next year. And so they were touring on the album, but it hadn't been released yet. But they had built up so much word of mouth that everybody was talking about them. Even though I had no way of hearing the music. I think they had a previous album, but it was like a million years before. So no one really knew who they were, but people knew who they were. I don't know if that makes any sense. This was the most epic mosh pit I had ever seen, or will have ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen Lamb of God, Walls of Death, you know, epic stuff. I've seen, you know, some wild stuff, but this, nothing like this. No exaggeration. Not one, not two, but 3 people were carried out on stretchers before half of the Hatebreed set was even over. And you know, on an Ozfest stage, it's like, I mean, it's like 20 minutes or something. But it was so amazing because this was the height of breakdowns and like, you know, I don't know if it was the heat or the music or what, or like, you know, the breakdowns themselves, but it was just like so crazy. And so my first friggin' set, I'm at Ozfest, I'm spent. I had already used up all the water, like a combination of pouring it over my head and drinking it. By the time the set was over, I was like, I literally found a shrub like on the side of the road, the little, you know, where we stood. And I laid down in a little bit of shade that was being cast from this little shrub, and I passed out. I don't know if I fell asleep or passed out. But when I woke up, I had some sunglasses. They were gone. Someone had stolen sunglasses off my face. But I survived, and I continued to watch the rest of the second stage. And I went and saw the main stage. Slipknot, their first album they were touring, they were on the main stage. Now, I actually wasn't as impressed this showing. Now, I saw them later, which they were amazing. But this, I don't know, maybe it was so hot, I don't know. But Slipknot, you know, they're great. They're always great live. So I stayed until the headliner was Black Sabbath, Epic. And they were in their second or third encore song. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. You know, they had already played all the songs I was interested in hearing, and they were in the B-sides at this point. So I was like, I gotta get out of here. So I got in my car, drove 5 hours back. And as a little side note, I got pulled over on the way back. The cop said I was kind of swerving, which, you know, I was so freaking tired, and I hadn't eaten. You know, I was dehydrated, and he's like, you know, where are you coming from? And I said, oh. I just came back from Ozfest, and his eyes literally grew 2 sizes bigger, and he literally high-fived me. I'll never forget. So in a time and age when police officers are kind of controversial, this cop was super cool. He let me go without even a warning, which happened to me a lot then, but later would not be the case. So I guess because I look so much more scruffy in my old age than I did my teenage years. Anyway, so yeah, that's my Hatebreed story. Sorry if it was boring, but you know, the thing is, it's about music and metal. It's very personal, and it's a personal thing, and it's really hard to really express it. I've got so many more. If you like this series, tell me. I'll keep posting them. Maybe I'll post to other people. I would like to do like my own, and then maybe I could talk about people who comment. So please comment, please subscribe. And yeah, so as soon as I can, I'm going to have my cover of the Hatebreed song out. And also have an idea for kind of a controversial video, which I'm going to be posting probably next week. But anyway, have a safe and happy 4th of July, everyone. Don't go to the restaurant, stay home, grill, get a couple of beers, in my case, some coffee, and enjoy the holiday. Stay safe, everyone.